where we go for the second half. And Hibs will want to do something very early here. And looking back on last season's encounters, they were all very tight indeed. Celtic took 5 points out of possible 8. But there were 2 1-1 draws, a 0-0 draw, and a 1-0 win for Celtic. That's how tight it was. This is Collins to Mowbray. It's headed away by Hunter. It's Hamilton, who does well. And just too much for him to do there. But Hibs have the throw-in. It's Hamilton. It's O'Neill who pounces. It's a good ball through for Harper. Taking on McNally. And McNally sliding in to concede the corner kick. So, just as in the first half, McNally under pressure from Harper. So Hibs push Tweed forward. And Hunter has gone to join him. As the ball swung in, but it's an easy one for Gordon Marshall. Made just the one appearance last season, but now very much the number one. Just 30 years of age now, so in his prime, but Celtic getting themselves into trouble. Hibs can't respond out. The ball played through by O'Neill. Nicholas is through the middle, Collins is on the far side, Grant's well forward, but the ball charged down by Billy Finlay. Still Galloway has it. He rolls it now to McGinley. It's Galloway again. Getting that one behind Collins. Still it's Collins. This is Grant. Laid off by Collins to Nicholas. Good play. Peter Grant gets a touch as Collins. It's a magnificent goal by Celtic. Absolute brilliance. A goal of the highest quality. And the skipper, Peter Grant, with a lovely back heel flick into the path of Collins. But great play by Celtic was Nicholas playing it through. Little touch by Grant. And what a finish by John Collins. It's Celtic 2, Hibernian 0 with 54 minutes gone.
What a great goal by Celtic there. Peter Grant, the man in the picture, he starts the move. Charlie Nicholas puts a great weighted ball through. Great vision by Peter. Just draws the ball back with the side of his foot. John Collins won't have an easier finish this year. Celtic really on top of the game now, and I think Hibs will really have to pull out all the stops if they're going to get anything from the game. Great goal from Celtic.
This is O'Neill. Again, the pass is misplaced and Galloway charges through, and O'Neill's a very lucky man. He didn't make contact with Galloway there. Yes, the red missed descending. He slid in to try and take the Celtic player out. This is Galloway. Grant. Donnelly. Grant closes out though to Love. This is Miller. Long one for Kevin Harper to chase. Tremendous pace again by him. And the goalkeeper out of the area there making the challenge. And the referee has had a think about this, and Marshall could well be off. He gets away, in fact, with a yellow card. That is certainly a controversial decision by the referee. He was outside of the area. Tremendous pace by Harper, taken out of the play. And that really has to be, in my opinion, a red card. But again, referees interpreting that the player wasn't running directly through on goal, but I think that's the kind of challenge that should merit a red card.
Certainly very difficult. I mean, Gordon certainly took the legs from Kevin Harper there. Showed great pace again. He's been really the only option Hibs have had going forward like that.
It's Tweed's header. Played through by Grant. It's McGinley. Nice little touch, through now for Donnelly. Good play that by McGinley. This is Simon Donnelly. Chance on for Collins. Well, he can't believe he missed that one. Superb ball played across to him, and he just sent it Wide of target. Great play initially by Pat McGinley. He controlled the ball well, got it through to Donnelly. Donnelly having a little look up and then rolled it right across into the path of John Collins. And that really was a gilt-edged opportunity. This is Donnelly. Collins. He steps Peter Grant. Goes it through now to Boyd. It's blocked by Hunter. Through now for Billy Finlay, who's closed down by Phil O'Donnell. Let's keep possession up. It's through for Harper. Good first touch by him to Darren Jackson. He's got O'Neill way to his left. In comes Galloway. Well, Grant taking his eye off the ball, and Harper come racing in behind him. Well, Celtic really have made so many defensive blunders in this game, it's not true. And they're leading by 2-0. Well, Grant shepherding the ball back towards his goalkeeper, but had failed to check the wing mirrors. This is Hunter. It's a free kick to Hibernian. Well, Hibs making a couple of changes now. O'Neill has come off. And they're sending on both Kevin McAllister and Gareth Evans. And Billy Finlay is the other Hibernian player to leave the field. So Alec Miller plays the final cards. Certainly Gareth Evans is a player with plenty of pace, and he can perhaps trouble the Celtic defence, which hasn't exactly covered itself in glory this afternoon. It's McNally's header. This is Farrell. Nearly touch for McAllister. It's a free kick against McGinley. McGinley is not happy, but neither is the referee, and he shows a yellow card to the Celtic player. It's the third booking Celtic have picked up this afternoon: Mowbray, Marshall and McGinley. Celtic leading by 2-0. This is Farrell. Headed away by Collins, only as far as Willie Miller. And it goes now to Gareth Evans. Evans wide in the right. It's a goal kick, indicates the linesman. And Gareth Evans, former Rotherham player, who tends to make his real impact when coming off the bench. He's 2 goals so far this season. So McAllister is being played wide left, and Evans on the right, a little stretching the Celtic defence and getting Darren Jackson and Kevin Harper through the middle. This is Peter Grant now for Celtic. To Collins. Long ball played through. And the roar going on at the moment is for happenings elsewhere. And one can only presume Pataudry.
I don't think we need to presume where the roars are forged. I think you can guarantee it's Pataudry.
Touch from Willie Miller. Mowbray in a bit of trouble here. Harper pounces. And that's a fine save by Gordon Marshall. Well, Mowbray absolutely caught there, and Harper right through and goal. That's a fine save by Marshall. Mowbray misjudging that one, and the pace again of Harper right through, and Marshall getting the touch. Corner's taken short. Back it goes to McAllister, and that was a chance for Gordon Hunter. The ball high over the target. You can see the frustration on his face.
Good ball, and he met it absolutely rightly. Okay, met it superbly, but they just couldn't direct it on target. Just the last one, big Tony Mowbray's actually caught by the flight of the ball. But Kevin Harper's first touch has actually let him down and made it more difficult for him to score. And certainly made it easier for Gordon Marshall to close in the angle for him. Hibs are coming in a little bit into the game, but I think their fate is already sealed.
This is Collins. Laid off by O'Neill. Through from Grant, looking for McGinley, and Leighton comes out of his area. That's Collins. This is Donnelly. The two substitutes combine, it's Donnelly. And that's a good challenge from Willie Miller, good defending by the full-back.
Good play by Simon Donnelly, wants to play, wants to get the ball at feet. Followed his pass, unfortunately, just couldn't get onto the end of the 1-2.
Leighton commits himself and handles it well. Well, Leighton reacting rather angrily against Pat McGinley, but the referee telling him to get on with it. Here comes Celtic again, it's Collins. McGinley's on the far side. It's cut out though by Tweed as we move into the final 5 minutes of the match. And Tommy Burns will be delighted with the start Phil O'Donnell has made to his Celtic career. 2 goals in his debut against Partick Thistle. He was cup-tied in midweek and striking the first goal this afternoon. Miller. Challenged by O'Donnell. The free kicks awarded against the Celtic midfielder. It's really all about consolation now for Hibs. It's floated in by Hamilton. Gareth Evans is there. That one dipping just over the crossbar.
Certainly a great ball played in. Just gets to the back post, bounces up perfectly here. For Evans coming in at the back post, and just almost looked it over the back of Marshall.
This is Collins, McGinley, O'Donnell, Galloway, Donnelly. Galloway runs in support. Good play by Celtic, nice one-touch stuff. Donnelly going through, and he's blocked by Gareth Evans. But the ball coming off the Celtic player. It's a goal kick, but a nice passing move again by Celtic.
Yeah, they really do look well when they're passing the ball like that. You know, okay, you're 2 goals ahead, there's only a minute to play, you're full of confidence, and that's when you want to see your team playing. And you certainly have gave Hibs a little bit of run around at times as today. I think Tommy Burns will be very pleased today. It's a good 3 points. Celtic, for most of the game, apart from 10-15 minutes where really Hibs had a chance to take something from the game, missed chances from them, they'll remember that for this only.
And Marshall gathers that one safely for Celtic. And he'll be happy with a shutout this afternoon when you think of the various things that have happened. And there in fact goes the final whistle, so 3 good points for Celtic. Handshakes between the managers and assistants. But 2 superb goals by Celtic. The first coming after 12 minutes from Phil O'Donnell. Great build-up play in the midfield by Celtic. And O'Donnell in one of those great runs of his to finish off. And after 54 minutes, John Collins at the end of a superb move involving Charlie Nicholas. A lovely back heel flick from Peter Grant. And there was Collins to smash the ball high into the net. The final score at Hampden Park, Celtic 2, Hibernian 0.
Still a victory for Celtic, Jerry.
Yes, they deserved it for their second half performance, but the chances Hibs had in the first half were remarkable. I mean, Mark McNally had a nightmare in the early stages, and you know, Kevin Harper just kept running him right from the early stages here. You see him dispossessing the Celtic defender, and for the next 5 minutes or so, running clear through and goal. In fact, McNally was booked. It wasn't Mowbray in all of these exchanges. There was a bit of confusion over that, but a torrid time for the Celtic defender.
Yeah, I think his biggest problem arose from his own positioning of where he was picking up Kevin Harper, and he gave him far too much space, and he was very lucky in that particular instance. He got back, you know, to close him down, but he brought his own problems upon himself. And you know, he's really, no doubt, he got a real tongue lashing at half-time from Tommy Burns. And I must admit, I'll give him credit. He did better in the second half, but really the game could almost have been wrapped up in the first half.
You think the lessons would have been learned, Alan, from the previous week where a bad goal was lost?
Well, I mean, I don't know how many times he's actually kicked it into somebody, well, as in being a Hibs player yesterday. And, you know, I hope he does. He's a young player, he'll learn lessons from it, but really, I'm sure he got a little bit of a tongue lashing from Tom.
Well, Charlie Nicholas started only his second game of the season yesterday, and although he made a telling contribution, he realises he's no longer an automatic first choice.
Yeah, I think I've been busting it a bit to try and get a game now. I've been on for like 6 minutes and 4 minutes, so it gets a bit annoying at times, but I've had to be patient, show my loyalty, and today I got my chance and enjoyed it.
And you were involved in both goals. That must have been a pleasing aspect for you.
Yeah, I think Peter Grant's been outstanding for us so far, and he's held the position of midfield with Phil O'Donnell running, but every time you look up, Phil O'Donnell moves into that gap, and it's a tremendous asset for somebody like me, and his first goal scored, just showed that.
And the second one was a bit special, Peter, with a kind of Laudrup back heel flick.
Yeah, we've been calling him Dunga in training. I don't know if it really means the Brazilian word or the Scottish word, so lovely touch, set up John, but the movement and passing in the second half was superb.
Well, Charlie, Jerry, he still proves he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't go past opponents like he used to do, but he doesn't really have to. I mean, he's still got the vision and the touch. He's a wonderful player to watch. He's got the ability to shoot at goal. That's a marvellous touch through there to O'Donnell for the opening goal.
Yeah, superb. I mean, he's a little bit coy there when he says, you know, he's got Phil O'Donnell and Peter Grant, who are doing exceptionally well. But, you know, he has class, he's got experience, Charlie, and he's got a great touch of the ball, and he proved it. Trying his pot there from 30 to 40 yards. I can't remember when Charlie scored from that distance. But it's his contribution to play. He's got great vision, and he can bring players into the game, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. He was brilliant.
Yeah, another lovely touch there through to John Collins, and he took the applause of the fans quite rightly at the end of that. I think another player who deserves a lot of praise is Peter Grant, Alan. Again, you know, he's hung on in there through all kinds of problems, and he's enjoying a fine season.
Yeah, well, I know Granty really well. I mean, I can't remember as many back flicks as Peter.
He was watching Laudrup last week.
Absolutely. But you know, he actually makes, you know, he starts to move here, follows on, great touch. It's vision again. You know, by that time they're really on the roll. But he has been outside. I spoke to him after the game, and you know, he admits himself he's completely revitalised with Tommy Burns getting the job. You know, and it's Captain Courageous. He's you know, he's leading by example.
Yeah, and just one more for the road. There you go.
I never remember Granty ever doing that in my life.
OK, what about Hibs? Any successes there, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, they could have had 3 or 4 heroes if they take their chances in the first 15 minutes. But I think the biggest plus for me is Michael O'Neill. He's very, very comfortable on the ball. And I can't say he ripped Celtic apart, but he opened them up so many times yesterday. And I honestly couldn't understand why Alec Miller took him off unless he was maybe carrying a little injury. But he has, like I say, he's got good 2 feet, gets a great ball in, he prefers his left. It was a super ball into the near post with his right foot there, and that almost got the equaliser for Stephen Tweed. But really, for me, he was a big plus for Hibs yesterday.
Yeah, quality crossing all of the way from him. Superb player.
A couple of controversial incidents, so Alan, no doubt about that. First, the Hibs penalty claim, and then the Gordon Marshall incident. Let's see the penalty claim first.
Yeah, when I was on the commentary, you know, this is the first time I'll ever side with a referee, because in the beginning I honestly thought that Jackson had made a bit of a meal of it. But when you see it from here, Mark McNally really does come clattering in very clumsily here, and I think Celtic were very lucky to get away with that.
I think Mr. Marshall was lucky to get away with this one, Alan. You and I might disagree in this, but I mean, Law 12. You know, it says violent conduct or serious foul play, it's a red card. Of course, the referee's got to do all of this in seconds. Is it a goal-scoring opportunity? Is he running directly at goal? But in my opinion, I think that should be a red card.
He was fortunate, in other words, yeah. OK. Well, we'll take a break there.